You know that feeling when your sibling gets the bigger slice of cake, the newer phone, or more attention from your parents? That gut-wrenching sense of unfairness that makes your blood boil? Today, we're diving deep into sibling rivalry, the oldest family drama in human history.
And it's fascinating how universal this experience is. Whether you're talking about modern families or ancient myths, sibling rivalry shows up everywhere.
Right? I mean, we're literally talking about a dynamic that's been documented since Cain and Abel.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that there's actually an evolutionary basis for this behavior.
Wait, you're telling me we're genetically programmed to fight with our siblings?
According to Trivers's theory from 1974, children are actually genetically driven to secure as many resources as possible for themselves, even at their siblings' expense.
That sounds pretty harsh.
Well, Richard Dawkins explained it really well in The Selfish Gene. Our genes are programmed for self-preservation rather than family harmony.
So it's like a biological zero-sum game?
Exactly. If one child gets more food, attention, or protection, the others naturally get less. It's pure survival instinct.
But surely there's more to it than just fighting over resources, right?
Absolutely. Birth order plays a huge role in shaping how siblings interact.
How so?
Research shows that firstborns tend to be more conformist and authority-oriented, while laterborns are often more rebellious and risk-taking.
That's fascinating. And I imagine that creates some natural tension.
Definitely. These differences are especially pronounced when siblings are close in age.
Speaking of age gaps, I've heard that makes a difference too?
Yes, Dr. Adebayo's research shows that siblings with larger age gaps often have more nurturing relationships, while those closer in age tend to compete more intensely.
That makes sense. But here's what worries me. I've heard that sibling rivalry can have some pretty serious long-term effects.
Unfortunately, that's true. A 2021 study found that sibling bullying is linked to lower self-esteem and life satisfaction in young adults.
Bullying? That sounds more serious than typical rivalry.
It is. Research shows it can actually double the risk of depression and self-harm in early adulthood.
That's really concerning. How can parents tell when normal rivalry crosses that line?
Well, some warning signs include constant arguing, physical fights, and one child frequently complaining about or reporting on their sibling.
Are there any effective strategies for managing these conflicts?
Yes, several. One key approach is fostering open communication and creating safe spaces for siblings to express their feelings.
Like family meetings?
Exactly. And teaching active listening skills, having siblings repeat back what they heard from each other.
That sounds helpful. What else?
Another crucial strategy is establishing clear and consistent boundaries about acceptable behavior.
And I imagine those boundaries need to be fair for everyone?
Absolutely. It's important to involve children in creating these rules so they feel ownership and understand expectations.
What about when conflicts do arise? How should parents handle those moments?
One effective approach is teaching children to focus on the problem, not the person.
Can you give an example?
Instead of saying, "You always mess up my things," encourage them to say, "I feel upset when my things are moved," without asking.
That's a subtle but important difference.
Yes, because blame makes kids defensive, while focusing on the problem opens the door for real understanding.
What about competition for parental attention? That seems to be a huge trigger.
It is. Children naturally crave attention from their parents, and they often compete because they think winning that attention means getting their needs met faster.
So how can parents handle that?
One effective strategy is setting aside regular one-on-one time with each child, doing activities they specifically enjoy.
That makes sense. Everyone gets their special time.
And it's crucial to avoid comparisons between siblings. Every child is different, and comparing them can fuel rivalry.
Even positive comparisons?
Yes, because even positive comparisons can make one child feel less valued or create pressure to compete.
What about in blended families? Does sibling rivalry work differently there?
Blended families face unique challenges because children from different family units are suddenly sharing space, parents, and traditions.
That sounds complicated.
It can be. These children often struggle with loyalty conflicts, feeling guilty about bonding with step-siblings.
Are there specific strategies for blended families?
Yes, creating new house rules together is particularly important, so all children feel included in setting expectations.
And I imagine giving each child some personal space is crucial too?
Absolutely. Even if it's just their own corner in a shared room, having some personal territory is essential.
Let's talk about long-term outcomes. Can siblings overcome intense rivalry?
Yes, with proper guidance and support, siblings can develop healthy relationships over time.
What helps that process?
Teaching conflict resolution skills early on is crucial. This includes problem-solving steps, negotiation, and empathy-building exercises.
And these skills probably help in other relationships too, right?
Exactly. Sibling relationships often serve as our first social laboratory where we learn crucial life skills.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
And remember, these are often our longest-lasting relationships, outliving even our connections with parents.
So investing in healthy sibling relationships really pays off in the long run?
Absolutely. When managed well, sibling relationships can become one of our strongest support systems throughout life.
This has been incredibly insightful. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Remember that some rivalry is normal and even healthy. It's how we handle it that matters.
And with the right tools and understanding, we can help turn those childhood rivalries into lifelong bonds.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, siblings can be our greatest adversaries or our strongest allies, often both at different times.
Remember, your siblings might drive you crazy sometimes, but they're also potentially your longest-lasting relationships.